Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. As you can see here, it's me and Hao, and we're standing right in front of the Anemo or Anemo Hypostasis, codename Beth. So for this video, we're going to tell you where to find this boss, why you should kill her, and what she drops. So right here, as expected from the Wind boss, it's going to be up in the Stormbearer Mountains. You can see right there that icon, Anemo Hypostasis. And so right here, we're going to go over really quickly the treasure collection cost, standard 40 resin, and as you can see here, all of the Hypostasis bosses drop sort of similar items. So in this case, we're going to get turquoise slivers. Depending on the level of the boss, it's going to go up to fragment, and then finally gemstone, and these are going to be character ascension materials for Anemo characters, as well as hurricane seed and a couple of artifacts that are going to be pretty decent. So make sure you find this boss and farm it as often as you're able. With that having been said, we're going to go ahead. You can see how he's kind of walking in, and I'm just going to sprint right in. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter because while the boss has these cubes up around them, you can't actually do damage. And this first mechanic, you're going to see, he's going to do this explosion out, and then he'll suck you in if you're inside that circle. You can just dash sprint, just keep tapping it and escape, but in the event you get stuck inside, he's going to explode and do a chunky amount of damage. But as is with all the mechanics on this boss, right afterwards he's going to be vulnerable, and then you have a couple of chances to hit him. Eventually he will turn into a butterfly and then do this combo of an updraft, sort of like a wind uppercut, and then he'll shoot another butterfly at you. This is pretty chunky damage as well. I got hit by it, unfortunately, but because we have Barbara, we're just going to heal back up. Normally you should be able to dodge this, just sort of serpentine, zigzag, dash side to side, and it shouldn't be much of an issue. Then he'll do this, and this is another two-part mechanic. Summons a bunch of tornadoes around the map. Now, these don't do that much damage. It's not that big of a deal, but what is a big deal is right after that, you'll see he summoned these sort of Anemo signs in the air, these little circles in the air, and what you need to do is collect them. But right now, you obviously can't get that high, so what do? After the tornadoes, the boss will target one of the characters with these AoEs, and they're going to drop 3 updrafts depending on where you are. And so what you want to do is after he drops these updrafts, jump into them, float around, and try to grab those circles that he's got floating up in the air there. As you can see, Barbara and Hao, they tried to do it, but they got sucked in at the last second. Now he's going to do this, and as you can see, it's pretty chunky damage. You can avoid it by getting to the edge of the arena here, but what happens is he'll suck in however many of those balls there are to a max of 3. So because we did a bad job and there were a lot of them, he sucked in the maximum of 3, and he does this AoE burst attack, right? But keep in mind, he only does it up to 3, and if there's less than that number, he'll only do it that amount of time. So if there's only 1 ball left, he'll only suck it in and do 1 AoE, and if there's 2, then he'll do 2. He becomes vulnerable a little bit after that. We're just trying to get our damage in, switching around Barbara with some cryo and pyro damage, just trying to get all of that elemental synergy in. Unfortunately, I get targeted again, and I'm not at this point in the fight exactly sure how it works. So unfortunately, I've dropped those on the perimeter again. But what you should do actually is, if you'll notice, the circles form sort of around the middle area of the arena. So what you want to do ideally is sprint around and distribute the updrafts around that area so you could go up on one, fall down, collect some circles, drift into another one, come back up. And that would be a much more efficient way to handle it than how we did this mechanic. As you can see, we've both learned we're running to the edge of the arena right away to dodge that attack, but this comes at the risk of, as you can see here, distancing yourself from the boss. So if you're playing a melee character especially, it becomes really difficult to close that distance in time to get damage before the cubes surround him again. Now, we're going in, taking advantage of our elemental synergies again, but he's got the cubes back up. So this next mechanic, he just sort of dashes towards you and then sets up for the clap. Pretty easy to dodge, all you have to do is run away. And so we're going to just run around for now and just try to whittle him down until we can get to that low HP threshold where he does his final mechanic. But here, we're getting a little bit smarter with the updrafts. And this should be setting up for some tornadoes. Yep, there they are. And then after this, we all know what to expect. He's going to have those circles, and we are going to try to be a little bit smarter this time and set up the updrafts in a better location. But for reference, this was my first time doing this fight, and then Hao has killed this before, so he was trying to coach me throughout this process. But if you panic a little bit, if it's your first time, it's understandable, and you can't collect all of these circles in the first couple tries, it's okay, just run to the edge of the arena and the AoE won't hit you either way. But as you can see here, we were smarter. Unfortunately, just some of the positioning on these wasn't in our favor. We're going to dodge the clap and then see if we can grab a couple more. Yeah, one. And what you see there, he went up on one updraft, he was falling down, but he caught another one. So you should position them a little bit farther away from each other to take advantage of that, so you could be in the air longer and have a chance to collect more sigils. So unfortunately, because we have 3 here, he's going to hit one on Hao, do another, and he's going to do one more, and then we're going to try to dash in, get some damage here. I'm not sure if it'll work out, but it should be enough. No, it's not. So we have one more cycle of mechanics. Let's see here. It's going to be dropping some drafts, and see, I was at the edge of the arena, so that's bad by me. I think we do actually manage to pick up the remaining amount here. Let's see. No, we don't, but that's okay. There's only one left, so he's only going to get one of those big arena-wide AoEs. Shouldn't be much of an issue here. And okay, so this is that 5% mechanic we were talking about. He's going to have his core in the middle, but you can't attack it at this point. All you have to do is go around and collect all of those sigils. Because this time, as you can see, there's a pretty consistent pattern to where the updrafts spawn, which makes it really easy to grab all of them. He will heal a small percentage of HP, around 5%, regardless of if you collect them all or not. But for each circle that you leave on the map, he will heal for a ridiculous amount. And so you definitely do want to spend that time making sure you can grab all of them. Once that's done, he might have a couple more mechanics, but ultimately once his core is exposed, all you need to do is finish off that last 5%, which should be pretty easy. We're going to open up that Leyline's Blossom with the 40 sigils, and then pick up some of these artifacts. Unfortunately, we got some Lucky Dog ones, which aren't so useful for us anymore, but we got some Berserker stuff, some Hurricane Seeds, and Character Ascension materials, which is always useful. And as always, right, sub to UNC, you see Xiangling there, and she's shilling for us. So please do that, make her happy. If you enjoyed this video, give a like and subscribe. If you want to see more Exo Heroes or Genshin Impact content, we've definitely got more coming down the pipeline, so be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching, more boss guides coming soon, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.